Alright, what's up, party people? Sorry it's been a little bit. I think it's probably been a week since I last put out a video. I'm trying to be a little consistent on this, but I've actually recorded 2 videos with my laptop and a camera and a microphone. But I'm still learning the OBS system and learning how that works. So right now we're going back to my cell phone. And I got a little stand that's holding it. I actually took the case off of it. I thought maybe the microphone might pick up a little bit more. And I noticed a few of you said no more music in the background, so it takes away from the attention from me talking, or it's hard to hear me. So you said no more music in the background. We'll figure that out and work that out over time. I do like a little bit of music, a little bit of noise in the background. I mean, I'm sure right now all you can hear is my air conditioner going. This week has been a little difficult. When I started this podcast, that day was the day we found out John Collins passed away. Then the day after that, my Facebook memories conveniently remind me that that a buddy of mine, Jay Lehman, passed away. Many of you in Detroit know him. Also know him as DJ J Money. It's been 5 years since he's passed away. And then a few days ago, a really good friend of mine, Bill Pierce, out in San Diego, passed away. He wasn't part of the music community at all. He was more of a father figure to me, I guess. I met him through a buddy of mine, Rick Drake, who I used to do mobile mechanic work for. He had a bunch of RVs, he had a limousine, he owned a company called San Diego Productions. He still owns the company. And they do all the behind the scenes stuff for when someone wants to do a camera shoot, a commercial photo shoot, or a magazine shoot. They provide all the dressing rooms and the transportation and props and stuff like that. Well, when I was working for Rick, he had this limousine that I was working on, and me being the DJ and entertainer that I was, I thought it would be cool to show up to some of my gigs in San Diego in the limousine. So we worked out where I'd do work for him on his projects that he had, and I'd get some evenings in the limousine, and that's how I met Bill Pierce. Bill was Rick's limo driver at the time, and he would take me and my people out, and we'd cruise town, and we'd party like rock stars, and Bill would give us the preferential treatment, and those were some good nights in San Diego, cruising around in the limousine. I appreciate you, Rick, for allowing that to happen. And Bill, I'm gonna really miss you, But Bill became a good friend, and he was kind of like my dad's age, and we hung out a lot together. We'd gone to the strip clubs, we were partying, Bill would drop us off in the limo, and he'd go park the limo, and he'd come in the party and hang out for a little while, and, or hanging out down on Rick's yacht down at the marina, Humphreys by the Bay. That was always fun. But there was a couple times when I lived in San Diego where I needed a place to stay, and Bill and his family brought me into their home twice, 2 different times, and really made me feel like part of the family. And there was some really trying times in San Diego. You can hear it in my voice a little bit. And Bill and his family brought me in, regardless of my flaws or my chaos that I was involved in, or just, whatever my life was at that time. They didn't care. They brought me in unconditional, didn't judge me. And I will always hold you to that. And right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to get back to San Diego. His wake, his gathering of life, it's going to be on August 29th. And unfortunately, I was booked to play out in Daytona Beach, August 29th, for my buddy Chris after dark. He's booked me one other time here in Tampa. He gave me my first Florida gig, so, and I appreciate him for that. But it's gonna suck to have to cancel this. But I don't think I would forgive myself if I didn't make it out to San Diego to say my goodbyes to Bill. You know, I wanted to try to make it out before he passed. And in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't make it out before he passed. I got to talk to him on the phone a little bit, and you know, let him know how much I cared, and you know how much he meant to me. But I'm glad my last memory of him wasn't seeing him sick. You know? So I guess that's a blessing in disguise. But yeah, San Diego. Friday the 29th, August, Friday the 29th and the 30th, 98% positive I'm going to be in San Diego. During the day Friday, I'm going to be busy, but I will definitely be available Friday night and Saturday night to play some shows. It'll be nice. I haven't been back to San Diego in 10 years. I've moved, you know, kind of a bittersweet homecoming. I wish I wasn't coming home this way, coming back to San Diego this way, but it is what it is. I'm not real good with this emotional stuff and feelings. I tend to bottle it up until it explodes. And some of you know that about me, and trying, you know, as I get older, I'm working on that, Yeah, let's change the subject from the sad stuff. Some of you may have seen I'm putting out posts talking about wanting to start doing shows down here in Tampa. I took a part-time job to get up some money. I'm hoping by the middle of fall or the beginning of winter I can start trying to do some day parties down here. I made a post on Facebook asking, you know, who in Chicago, Detroit, New York would like to come down, you know, play some day parties. I'm curious to see who responds to that, because I know quite a few people have unfollowed me due to my vocalization on past government leanings and political shit, and you know, that's neither here nor there. But I've decided this time when I start booking people and stuff, I'm gonna do contracts with people, and I have to look out for me in this time and age, because I also like to get out and play, and I would like to start flying around and playing some music myself. And you know, if you'd like to come play for me, you know, I kind of like to maybe have the favor returned a little bit. You know, I'm not asking for you to buy me flights and stuff, but like, man, throw me a booking. It'd be nice. You know, I wonder where I would be if I did this 20 years ago and say, hey, you know, book me, I book you, and we keep the ball rolling, and you know, and I never did that. I just always bit the bullet and paid the fees and flew you guys out here and had a great time. But I always seem to feel like I'm forgotten in the end, and a lot of that's my fault. You know, if you look at all my flyers, my name's at the bottom of every fucking one of them. And I was talking to my buddy online the other day about this, is that from here on out, I can't be putting my name at the bottom of these flyers no more. It does me no good. It's kind of made me look like a rookie, even though I'm friends with, you know, John Akaviva and Doc Martin. I was friends with Kay Hanna, Terrence Dixon, Tim Baker, you know, Marky Cork, Octave One, all these people, Asher Perkins, Frankie Bones. I've known all these people for so long, you know, and I know a big part of it is I've never produced music. I've always been just a DJ. But I think when it comes to making a name for yourself, you have to hold yourself up in a higher regards. And I've always believed, you know, back in the day, you know, I'm put myself down here because I don't want to take anything away from any of these guys who I am paying to come out. And you know, it would have been nice to see my name up here between Asher Perkins and Tim Baker. You know, I think that would be cool. You know, or I don't know. I'm rambling my thoughts and feelings, and but I gotta start looking. You know, I'm 50 now. No one's really looked out for me musically throughout this whole journey except for me, and I figure I'm gonna start looking out for myself now. And I think when I start doing these parties down here in Tampa, you know, I'm gonna book a headliner, myself, and a friend to open. And my name will be right there in the middle, you know, and it's not going to be 25 names and mine at the bottom, you know. It doesn't make sense anymore, you know. And I'm not doing festivals no more. Those are 3-day festivals, some of those parties. Like I said, I really want to do the day party thing. Like to fly people out, you know, fly them out Saturday or Sunday morning, play the day party, and hopefully have you home that same evening, unless you can pull off another booking or a gig here in, you know, Tampa. And maybe that's where my In the Groove LLC will come in handy too, is getting some of these artists other gigs and stuff. I need to get back on the website, and I got to update the website, pull some artists off of there, put some artists on there. I know I've been telling a couple of you guys that I'm gonna get you on there, and I've been lacking motivation lately, you know. I bit the bullet and got a little part-time job, try to save up some money, because it takes money to do these events and stuff, and I'm not gonna pull money out of my savings or, you know, ask my wife for money to do these events, you know. It doesn't make sense. So took a little part-time job, getting up some money to get things going. And see where things go, you know. Along with this YouTube, you know, hopefully this thing will take off. I appreciate all of you who have tuned in. If you could subscribe, if you could like the channel, if you could comment. If some of you know me personally, you know, there's some things you want me to talk about, something jog my memory, you know. A lot of things I've forgotten over the 30 years in the party scene, but it usually doesn't take much to jog my memory to get me rambling on about things. If me and you have some crazy stories and you feel like you want to come to Florida, be a part of this, and, you know, I have no problem doing a whole interview thing, and hopefully by then I'll have the whole camera and the microphones worked out, and, you know, I like to see this grow. And I know these are kind of humble beginnings with this YouTube channel, blog, whatever I want to call it. But you know, hopefully in, you know, 5 years when I'm 55, I can go back and watch these videos and laugh and chuckle a little bit. So I'm trying not to be too hard on myself throughout all this. I'm trying to stay calm and collective. I do want to document these, pretty much, you know, why not document the rest of my life, you know. I love the music. I love the grind of it. I love the hustle. I love making the phone calls and booking the DJs. I love booking the airports and the hotels and the transportation, and that's all stuff I did really good, and I'm really good at networking and making things, connecting the dots. So one of the things I do need help on, and maybe you guys can help me on this, I need someone who's really good at marketing. I am not a good PR person. Many of you know, I get combative when someone starts talking shit online, or fucking, I'm not real good at holding back my feelings and emotions, you know. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, and, you know, and I know that's not good for marketing, you know. You always got to put that best foot forward, and I'm looking for someone who could help me with that, you know, someone who can be able to talk to the public for me on my behalf, you know, not make decisions for me, you know, but be able to talk to the public and respond to the public's needs and concerns throughout these events. Be able to, I don't think I should be the one on the event page constantly replying back to everybody. That's gotten me in trouble over the years, you know, and I don't think it's a good look when you're arguing with people over petty shit. And, you know, who knows about the party, you know, especially when it starts, you know. I guess one of my biggest pet peeves when I was throwing these parties was people saying, "Oh, you should book so and so, and you should book this person, you should book this person," and I was, you know, you want to book those people, you cough up the money to book those people. But until then, shut the fuck up, you know, and that's not a good look online. I know that, and at least I know that about myself, you know, and on that point though, I am always open to investors. If anybody wants to invest in any of the events I'm doing, I'm open to it. If you got an artist you want to book and you do want to put your money where the mouth is, we can book them, you know. I do believe in, you know, 3 degrees of separation to get to anybody you know in the world. Throughout my 30 years in music, it's not hard for me to get into contact with somebody. It doesn't matter if they're halfway across the world. I know somebody probably knows them. So if there's someone you would like to book or someone you would like to see out, you know, and you want to collaborate on making some events, and I know I've had a couple of Florida people talk to me about collabing, and I'll think about it, but at the same time, you guys need to know that I don't do EDM. I don't book trance music, and I don't book gabber or hardcore or psytrance. You know, I like 4 on the floor house and techno. You know, I do like tech house. I like, you know, I do like drum and bass, but I've never booked any drum and bass as a full-on event. But I do book drum and bass DJs here and there for my festivals and stuff. But like I said, if you guys want to collab, I want to collab with people who are like-minded. I mean, like I said, my flyers here, you know, Octave One, Asher Perkins, Frankie Bones, DJ Assault, you know, Marky Court, Johnny Thin, you know, Speedy J, Octave One, John Aquaviva, Doc Martin, K.N., Terrence Dixon, Detroit Techno Militia, Joe Hicks, which we won't talk on that subject, Joe, and you know, those are the types of artists I like to book. And yeah, I am favorable to Detroit, you know, but with this new venture, I'm not just focusing on Detroit, you know. I think that's one of the things I did wrong in San Diego for the 15 years out there doing parties, is it was always Detroit, Detroit, Detroit. Detroit's where it started. Detroit's what you need to be booking. Detroit's proper, this and that, this and that. And I could see how that got old. And, you know, I'm not going to force feed people Detroit no more. You know, I'm going to force feed people good music. It doesn't matter if it's Chicago, Detroit, New York, LA, San Diego, Phoenix, Denver. You know, it doesn't matter. You guys have all noticed that I've been focusing though on Detroit, Chicago, and New York, and not so much the West Coast. And for the moment being, is that flights from Detroit, New York, Chicago to Tampa are reasonably cheap. You know, $300 round trip if I book them far enough in advance. Flying someone out from California back and forth, that's $500 to $800 plane ticket round trip, and I'm not ready to bite that bullet yet. You know, I'm a budget baller. You know, I'm building my own sound system. I have my own gear and turntables. You know, once I find a venue that's willing to work with me and give me a percentage, you know, I'm gonna, and you know, and then doing the day parties. You know, if I could fly someone in the morning, have them play in the afternoon, and take them to dinner, and fly them home in the evening. And fuck, I only gotta get a hotel. That saves a few $100s there. You know, I'm really thinking budget baller type shit with these events, and I think the plan I have is gonna work. I think it's gonna be good. I'm a little worried about trying to build a crowd out here. You know, I know a handful of people, but hopefully the lineups that I book, or the artists that I book, are artists that people know and that they're willing to come out for. You know, it's gonna be a good time. Feel free, like again, I'm gonna try to wrap this up here in the next couple of seconds. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment. You know, any subjects that you want me to talk on, any subjects you don't want me to talk on. I've reached out to a couple of you about talking about some of the old war stories, and maybe we'll get some of those on. Maybe we'll do a 3-way call or something like that. But again, like, subscribe. Everyone have a great week, and we're gonna cancel it there. Talk to you guys later. Stay underground.